Hello everyone, it's video blog time. I just want to do a short video blog about the passing of Dolores O'Riordan, and I just want to talk a little bit about Dolores in general. I don't really want to focus on how it happened or why it happened or something like that. That's not what this one's going to be about. It's going to be more about how she influenced me, and I just want to talk about how great she was, to be honest, to me and to millions of people across the world. First of all, it was shocking a few days ago when I woke up and my wife showed it to me, and I was like, oh no. This has happened to a lot of people in the last couple of years, losing celebrities that they love, but for me it hasn't been this much of a blow until, I'd have to go back to Michael Jackson, which is Michael Jackson and Dolores. The Cranberries are two artists that have shaped me as a person and as a musician. No doubt, massively. One not more than the other. And I just want to tell a few stories about the band and how I discovered them, and just my favorite songs and stuff like that. Just kind of a little tribute to Dolores O'Riordan. So I discovered Dolores in 1994. Maybe 95, but I think 94. And I was a young teenager, and I was getting ready for school, and I turned on MTV, and Zombie was, I didn't know Cranberries from Dreams, and the Dream, I can't think right now. Sorry. Yeah, anyways, Linger, and I didn't know that album yet, so I was discovering them from No Need to Argue, which was brand new. I think it had just been released, and the first thing I saw was, I caught it like, the intro had already been playing, so I turned the TV on, boom, instantly I saw Dolores when she's there, all painted in gold, and instantly I love this for a couple of reasons, and I don't know how old I was exactly. Maybe 13, maybe 14, somewhere around there. And for a boy that age, I think Dolores may have been around 21, 20, and the song, her voice, her looks, I was just like, I gotta know who this is. Now, I actually think I left the school before the song even ended. So it was like a quick little like, who is this? No, okay, I went. So I came home that day, and I had been thinking about it all day, and who that was, and I just had to wait. And I remember hearing the song on the radio. I want to say it was Casey Kasem's with the top 40 that he would count down, and I remember hearing the tail end of it, and I was like, that's it. And I think he mentioned it, the Cranberries. Oh, the Cranberries. Okay, that's who it is. And then I remember I saw it a few days later on MTV again, and so I bought the record and I bought the album, well, the cassette. And and so on. I became a huge fan. I mean that album, No Need to Argue. That's the first one that I heard, and that I purchased. So every song on that album is just amazing, right? It is. It's just awesome. And what are the emotional colors of that album? Like it just feels cold to me, but there's a warmness to it in terms of her writing, but I feel the Ireland in it, right? It feels cold, and it's enchanting, and there's sorrow in that album, and it's beautiful, and there's a spirit to that album. And those are all the words, but there's also hurt. There's some hurt in that album, and starting from the end, like No Need to Argue. What a song! Like, it starts off with her basically just singing, and I think there's like a light organ going on underneath it, and then when I remember all the things, the backup vocals come in. Like, I remember just hearing that as a kid and as a teenager, and I was just blown away. Like, wow, this is something else. Now, there were some times where I actually was sad as a teenager within that year for different reasons, and I'd be hearing it, and that thing would just it would just hit me. Like, it was so sad hearing that record when you actually were sad. So sometimes I couldn't even hear it, but it was beautiful. It's a joyful album, actually, as well. There's certain, you can feel her emotion in the songs. Like Ode to My Family, that one. Is there any other album that has this landscape of emotions, like in what she was saying and what she was the music she was throwing out? I haven't heard one. Sixpence had an album that was pretty good too. The one with that song "Kiss Me." That whole album is really good, but it's a little different. It's a different landscape of emotions. This one's just, oh man, hits you. It hits you. But the first one's "Ode to My Family." I think the second song is "I Can't Be With You," right? Kind of a little upbeat of a Cranberry song, catchy. Then it's 21, I think. Now 21, there's a part in 21 that, to this day when I hear it, just stops me. And that's the funny thing about Dolores O'Riordan is that even at the young age of like 20, 21 years old, she just had this way of singing things like, and actually younger than that, right? Because the album before, she's even younger. She had this way of, she didn't even have to say words. She just had to go, do, 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 do. And in 21, the song, there's a part where she goes, where it's getting, like, there's just like a tension in the chords and in her voice. And then she goes, ooh, I'm going to sing it lower because, it's high. Ooh, 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 ah, ooh, and you hear the delay slapping against the notes. Whew, that was heavy for me, and it still is. And she had that little like, that little fight within her notes. And there's more of that in the album. I think in the song "Is It Empty?" The icicle, when it's like you hear the pain in her voice. What is it? I'll be dreaming my dream. Beautiful song, man. Ridiculous Thoughts at the beginning. How did it go? And then it kicks into this, rock song that crescendos at the end. You're gonna have to hold on to me. I tell you, that album is just a masterpiece. It really is. And the Yeats Grave, I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's kind of a spooky, kind of a haunting song. And then the masterpiece of Daffodil Lament. I mean, woo! There was a part from that song where, to this day, it's one of my favorite bits of music. Maybe I'll do a video blog where I talk about my 5 favorite bits of music in general. I won't do it now because it's a tribute to Dolores, so I only want to talk about her great moments. But yeah, one of the moments that I will include in that video blog is a moment in Daffodil Lament. The whole song is kind of growing, just a lot of tension, I can stay here, da, 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 da. And then boom, boom, boom. And the guitar comes in, right? And then she just sings this, like, it reminds me of, like, the clouds are gray, and then just that little bit of sunlight comes in. I have decided to view forever. I have decided to start things from here. Thunder and lightning won't change what I fear. And I may get the words wrong a little bit there, but and the daffodils look lovely today. Let me tell you, as a writer, you can go your entire career and not write something with that clarity of that 30 seconds. And I knew it as a kid. When I heard it, I'd hear it before I'd go to school. It just, rises the hair on your arms. It just, and that's the beauty of songwriting. Even Zombie, which is a career song right there, this little part for me, it was just, and then I hear about it today. I hear it today, and I'm like, that you strive your entire career to write something like that. And here she is writing it at 21 years old. It's amazing. Masterpiece. And that whole album. And here I am, 9 minutes into this, and I got to talk about all the rest. And so I'll try to keep it short. But yeah, those first two records, because then I bought that last the record before, and discovered, you know, Linger and Dream, and the one that's a really good live song, Wanted. You know what, all I wanted was this is the way you want it. And it's actually a great live song, and it's actually a really cool song on the record. I like how they kind of speed it up live, and it was this massive, energetic song. And I know Dolores was probably the core writer of all this, so a lot of the credit goes to her. And I don't want to take away credit from, you know, the brothers and the band in general, Lawler and Hogan. I believe it's Mike and Noel, right? Forgive me if I got the name wrong, but I think it's Mike and Noel Hogan. And yeah, they were the same band the entire time, so they had that as well. I believe, you know, I'm sure they helped in the songwriting as well, so I don't want to take that credit away from them either. But you know, Dolores' voice, man, you know, it's everything. It really is. I mean, it was a massive, huge part of the band. So I didn't buy the next album, Faithfully Departed, right? I didn't buy that album for a while. I want to say I didn't buy it until I bought Bury the Hatchet. So I heard Departed after I had already heard Hatchet. At the time I was just blowing up, you know, with musical influences that were hitting me. I was hearing a lot of heavy metal at the time. So I remember saying, well, you know what? I've missed two Cranberry records, and then the new one had just come out. So I purchased an Animal Instinct with the first song. And boom, just hit me. You know, this is it. This is the Cranberries. Now at this point, they had grown a lot. That spirit that they had on those first two records, I don't want to say it was gone, because it was still there. When you see them live, and it's still there. But they had grown a lot. You know, the Departed was a little heavier and a little bit more alternative. You know, had some big hits in there as well. Great record, but it was different. You know, and I think they needed that, because, and you know, sometimes people can criticize bands when they change, but when you go see them live, it really helps when they've done this, because you got all these different layers. You know, they got the spirit of No Need to Argue and of the first one. Everyone is doing it. But then now they got these rock songs from Departed, and it's like boom, boom. You get all these different layers, you know, and that's what I like. That's what I try to do. But Animal, I preferred the Hatchet album. That album is tons of good songs. Desperate Andy, I mean, what a live song. I love that ending. You know, where she's kind of it just crescendos. If you haven't heard it, awesome song. Animal Instinct, Loud and Clear. The first four songs are just boom, 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 boom. I mean, just great songs. And yeah, the record is great, but it's different. You know, it was a little more of a jolly, of a sweet Cranberries. You know, melancholy somewhat too. And she had her children at this point, or at least one of her kids already. So she was singing about that now, being a mother, and you can hear that. Beautiful album. And then it goes on. They had one more record. Well, they had two more records, but. You know, Wake Up, the Coffee album, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. I really liked Animal Instinct on that. What Animal Instinct? I'm sorry. This Is the Day. I really like This Is the Day. And, you know, I'll try to wrap it up in terms of the albums. Then, obviously, when they reunited, what's it called? Roses, right? Came out. And yeah, I mean, there's some songs on there that I like as well. But at that point, you know, a lot of time had gone by, and she still had her trademark voice on that album. Tomorrow, that song just took off from the first album, actually. Really beautiful, cool song. But I don't want to skip over her two solo records, because that I feel is where she really returned to that spirit of her first two records. Like, there's just something about those two albums, man. It returns to that feeling of No Need to Argue, and it's not something that's probably not done out of like, oh, I want to, you know, tap into that because people want to hear that. No, you can really feel that from her, you know. Ordinary Day, I mean, it's just dark, and it's mysterious, and it's got that feeling. And there's a song from the next one, and I'm sorry for skipping, but I did want to keep this somewhat brief. For whatever reason, I don't know. I guess that didn't stop me from making it longer either. The song, it's called, because the journey is really cool, but uh, It's You. It's You with a song. And if you haven't heard this song, check it out. I mean, this song will probably, you know, if you're someone that gets emotional pretty easy, hearing her sing It's You is, you feel it. You feel it like she just feels like, I mean, she talks about the second verse. I remember a time uh, with it planting seeds, pulling, about the weeds. It's just, it sounds so sentimental to me. But Dolores has a way that she can do that. You know, she can do that with very simple words. I saw somebody said it today on a tribute article today, that she wrote these deep subjects and emotional subjects, but she managed to do it in a way that was so simple. And that's, let me tell you, my friends, that is not easy to do with a songwriter. And she's got some mega hits in that, doing that. So, yeah, the two solo records were just really cool. I would have loved you to her. And in fact, you know, I mean, I hate to say that, but you know, I know she was actually recording very recently, and like I said, I don't really want to even go into that, because I wanted to just focus on the great stuff that she did. And oh man, it's a lot. And I'll share a story here. I was playing live in a town that's like, what, like 45 miles from where I live. I had a gig that night, and on that night in particular, Dolores O'Riordan, during the Ordinary Day, that album, her first solo record. If anybody listening, right? I mean, she was here in my hometown, and I had a gig about 45 miles away. So, I mean, I could barely perform that night, thinking that one of my people that one of the ultimate influences on me was in my hometown. And when am I going to get that chance? There was a time where I was in LA also. I was in LA, and the Cranberries were there like 1 week after we left. So that kind of, yeah. But the one here, so I never got to see Dolores live, the Cranberries live. I never got to, and that kind of sucks. I really would have liked to have seen her live. Not necessarily, I mean, of course, I probably wouldn't be able to talk if I met her. There's not a lot of people in this world that would get me like that, but I think Dolores probably would have made me like, you know, she would get that all day, of course. But anyways, yeah, and I also wanted to touch up a little bit on how she performed live, because that was special too. What an amazing live performer. And there was always this two kinds of Dolores live. You never knew which one you were gonna get. The very kind of meditative, kind of with the guitar strumming, kind of looking straight, very emotional, but kind of still, you know, emotionally strong Dolores. You never know you're gonna get that one, or you're gonna get the one marching across the stage, you know, like on, you know, too much caffeine. You know, both, they were both amazing, and sometimes I'm sure you'd probably get them both in one night. So depending if you saw her in concert a lot, but that, to me, and that influenced me too, because front women have to be eccentric, but it has to be natural almost. You gotta be naturally eccentric. I'm naturally eccentric, I can tell you that much. Especially on a stage. I'm more comfortable on a stage than off the stage. I can tell you that 100%. So that quote that Michael Jackson said, when he was like, "Oh, I love sleeping on the stage. It just feels so natural." Like, that's how he would say it. I'm like, oh, I get that. I totally get that. I love that. Because some people, they're not like that. There's some celebrity musicians that aren't like that. They like Tool, like Maynard. I mean, I've never heard his why he does what he does, but you know, he tends to kind of be in the back, and it's cool. It works for the band, it works for him, but not everyone's the same, you know. I know I love being on stage. I'm sorry, I'm a ham, and I've tried to kind of control that somewhat, so I'm not too hammy, you know. But anyways, Dolores, her performing was just really cool and really different, and that to me is the best thing about these iconic, you know, artists that we've had, from David Bowie to Prince to Bono to Freddie Mercury to Dolores O'Riordan to Madonna. When you see her on stage, it's got that presence, you know, to Beyonce, to all these really good performers, to Bruno Mars, to go all the way back to or Selena. I'm from 3 hours from Corpus Christi. For Selena had that, you know, the bombastic. Just you don't teach that, you know. And that's what Dolores had. Yeah, you know, like Gwen Stefani too. I've seen No Doubt. She definitely has that. But yeah, Dolores had that, and she had that. She was just oozing this talent, you know, and from her lyrics to her music to her performing skills. And we definitely just lost a really cool, a really great, iconic person and an artist. So I just wanted to give her a little bit of a tribute. And you know, she's touched so many people's hearts, you know, across the world with music, and that will live on for forever, you know. And people say that, and it really, because it really does mean something. It really is true. So, Dolores O'Riordan, you will be missed, and I will be listening to your music a lot from here on out. I mean, I always have, but you know, even more here on out. So, thank you for your contribution to music and you know, humanity. Really, yeah, you will be missed. Rest in peace. I usually say what I say at the end of my video blogs, but I won't today. So just see you all next time.